Please try the question first. All right. So if p is the product of the integers from 1 through 30, essentially p is 30 factorial inclusive. Yeah. What's the greatest integer k for which 3 to the power k is a factor of p? What does this line mean? Greatest integer k for which this guy is a factor of p. So for example, would 3 to the power 2 be a factor of p? Well, sure. 30 factorial. So definitely 30 factorial would have 2 factors of 3 in it. What we have to figure out essentially is how many factors of 3 are there in 30 factorial, right? Let's say there are 18 factors. So can k be 200? No, right? Would 3 to the power 200 be a factor of 30 factorial in case there are only 18 factors of 3? No. So that's what the question means. What's the greatest integer k for which this would happen? Essentially, what's the highest power of 3 in 30 factorial? So one way, of course, is I calculate 30 factorial and then figure out the powers of 3 in it. But realize, since I have to figure out the factors, I can just look at the terms which are getting multiplied separately and then figure out overall what's the highest power of 3. So that's what I'm going to do. Figuring out 30 factorial doesn't seem feasible, doesn't even seem humanly possible to do. Anyway, not within 2 minutes. So 1 times, 2 times, 3 times, so on till 29 and then 30. So which numbers would give factors of 3? Only the multiples of 3. So let me actually just focus on those. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. So 3 has 1 factor of 3, 6 has 1 factor, 9 has 2 factors, 12 has 1 factor, 15 has 1, 18 has 2, 21, 1, 24, 1, 27, 3, 31. So that's it. I add them up. 1 plus 1, 2, 4, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14. So the answer should be C. Now, there is a way to figure out directly, kind of a shorter way to figure out directly the highest power of a particular prime number in a factorial. Let's discuss that now. Realize what happened when we discussed the previous approach. There were a lot of numbers which had just 1 factor of 3. And then there were numbers like 9 and 18 which had 2 factors. And then there was 27 which had 3 factors of 3. Right? So one way to think about the whole thing is that how many multiples of 3 are there from 1 to 30? Well, 3 ones are 3, 3 twos are 6, 3 tens are 30. So that's a table of 3 from 1 till 10. So there are 10 multiples of 3 in 30. In the first 30, in 30 factorial, sorry. The 10 multiples of 3. Now, out of these 10 multiples of 3, how many would have more than 1 power of 3? Well, again, we divide by 3 essentially. Right? There's 9, there's 18, there's 27. So 10 divided by 3 and just the integer part. That's 3 numbers. How many of these 3 numbers have more than 2 factors of 3? That's now 3 divided by 3. So 1 number, just 27. Don't need to check beyond that because now we've run out of numbers. So how we could go about solving is I put 30 here, divide by 3. I write the result here, 10. And then divide by 3 again, and I'm only going to write the integer component. So 3, divide by 3 again, and then I'm left with 1. And then what's the highest power of 3 in 30 factorial? Essentially, I just add up these guys. 10 plus 3 plus 1, that's 14. Let's just take another example to make sure we got this. So for example, what's the highest power of 5 in 46 factorial? Right, highest power of 5. Let's say we have to figure out. So I divide 46 by 5. 5 times 9 is 45. So I'll just keep the integer bit. And then 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 would become too big. I'm again going to keep the integer bit only. So we're done. 9 plus 1, that's 10. So the highest power would be 10. Let's count also actually. So what are the multiples of 5? 5, I'm counting alongside. That's 1, 10, that's 2, 15, that's 3, 20, that's 4, 25, that's 6. 25 has 2 powers of 5. And then 30, that's 7, 35, that's 8, 40, that's 9, and then 45, that's 10. Yep. Let's try one more. What's the highest power of, let's keep it small, of 3 in, let's use 46 factorial again. So 3 and then 46, 3 times 15 is 45, and then 3 times 5 is 15, and then 3 times 1. I'll keep the integer bit only. And I'll stop once I get 1. So the overall power of 3 in 46 factorial is 15 plus 5 plus 1. That'll be 21.